Nile crocodile is the only animal on the list that regularly consumes humans, earning it the top rank. If a person wanders too close to the water's edge, it will likely catch them exactly as it would a wildebeest. Every year, the Nile crocodile claims the lives of hundreds of people. This crocodile inhabits freshwater or marginally brackish waters and may be found in at least 26 sub-Saharan nations. Male crocodiles may grow to a length of 11.5 to 16 feet and weigh 500 to 1650 pounds. While there have been instances of crocodiles longer than 20 feet that weigh more than a ton. Males are 30% larger than females. The conservation status of the Nile crocodile is of least concern. The Nile crocodile is a predator that ambushes prey and has very strong jaws and fangs that can penetrate through hide. A Nile crocodile just needs to pull even a huge animal beneath and wait for it to drown before it begins to feast due to the unbreakable hold of its jaws. The crocodile engages in what is known as a death roll to shred its prey to pieces so that it may be swallowed, since its teeth are designed for grabbing. Rather than eating. The Bronx Zoo is home to Nile crocodiles. Chimpanzee. The fact that chimpanzees are elusive and challenging to locate in their natural habitat is one reason why they do not murder or hurt more humans than they do. It became clear to researchers like Jane Goodall that chimpanzees, formerly assumed to be peaceful, can act viciously in ways that are quite similar to human behavior. They don't have a theory of mind, which prevents them from comprehending or empathizing with their victims. Chimpanzee assaults on people are horrifying because they can target parts of the body that people value, such as the face, hands, or, at least in males, the genitalia. However, chimpanzees, who are 1.3 to 1.5 times as powerful as humans, are enough animal to be unyielding. Human infants have been documented to be killed and eaten by chimpanzees, who likely mistakenly identified them as their preferred primate food, colobus monkeys. Chimps may also attack those who get them intoxicated or those they perceive to be competitors. James Davis was badly attacked by two chimpanzees when he brought a birthday cake for his former pet chimpanzee Mo without sharing any with them out of jealousy. Nevertheless, far too many individuals keep chimpanzees as pets or even as surrogate kids. Chimpanzees are a well-liked animal in zoos, including the San Diego Zoo. Their level of conservation is threatened. Hippopotamus. People find it hard to imagine that hippos are so hostile. It is shocking to find that hippos murder at least 500 people annually. They are blubbery, herbivorous, appear lazy, and are only partly aquatic. The hippopotamus, which may be found almost everywhere in sub-Saharan Africa as well as along the Nile River, can travel astonishingly quickly on land. An aggressive hippo can run at 19 feet per second. The tiny hippo is not a subspecies, rather, it is a member of a completely separate genus. A hippopotamus may reach lengths of 9.5 to over 17 feet, not counting its tail, which is about a foot long. They may easily weigh more than a ton and stand between 4 and 5 feet tall at the shoulders. A large male may weigh more than 2 tons, and during their 50-year existence, males continue to grow. They also never stop growing and have been known to employ their remarkable lower canines and lower incisors as deadly weapons. On land, people are likewise trampled and overpowered. Hippos also like flipping over small boats and assaulting the passengers as they tumble into the sea in several zoos throughout the world, notably the Toledo Hippoquarium, where the first underwater hippo birth occurred. Hippopotami are popular attractions. Hippos are also on display in the San Diego Zoo and the San Antonio Zoo. The hippopotamus is classified as vulnerable in terms of conservation. The African buffalo's massive curving horns and strong, muscular build prevent people from believing it is a cuddly animal, unlike the hippopotamus. It is known for being violent and acting with what appears to be vengeance. It is one among the big five of large game hunters. Only the largest crocodiles and lions consider it to be viable prey. Humans never tamed the African buffalo, unlike its Asian relative, the water buffalo. Although it is not as ferocious as the hippopotamus, the African buffalo kills roughly 200 people annually. The largest buffaloes may range in length from 5.56 to just over 11 feet, with a tail length of 2 to 3 feet, and weigh between 1,100 and 2,200 pounds. The male's ferocious horns create a boss at the top of its head, sweep downward and backward, and end in razor-sharp tips. The boss doesn't harden for 8 or 9 years. The horns on cows, which are smaller than bulls, are not bossy. Zoos like Denver Zoo have ample space for this species. The state of its conservation is of least concern. The black mamba, like the majority of animals, avoids conflict with humans, but when it is trapped, it is renowned for being vicious. The color of the interior of its mouth when it opens wide in a threat show is more important than the color of its scales, which range from dark brown to gray. The black mamba, which may be found in southern Africa as well as portions of Central and East Africa, can reach lengths of over 9 feet, and descriptions have been made of snakes that were over 14 feet long. Among poisonous snakes, only the king cobra is longer. A well-known reputation exists for the black mamba as one of the world's deadliest snakes. It is one of the longest venomous snakes in Africa, and only the second longest in the entire globe, and it moves incredibly quickly on land. Although venomous, these snakes aren't thought to be very aggressive and won't attack unless provoked. The victim may have many sets of tooth marks from the mamba's repeated biting during an assault. The neurotoxic in the venom begins to have an impact minutes after it is administered. If antivenom isn't administered right away, the patient will pass away within 7 to 15 hours when their cardiovascular system fails. The zoos in Houston and Atlanta are home to the black mamba, and there is no concern about its conservation status. Aggressive animal barracudas. Many fishermen believe that in a fight between sharks and barracudas, especially sharks as violent as the great white, the barracuda has the upper hand. Barracudas range in size from 20 inches to 6.5 feet and are both scavengers and ambush predators. In their midst is a predator who has just eaten and is dropping fragments of prey. Despite having poor vision, barracudas are drawn to bright items, which they mistake for light reflecting off a fish's scales. They can swim in bursts of 25 miles per hour and have muscular jaws loaded with teeth. The barracuda aggressively seeks to kill its victim in one large bite in contrast to the shark, which normally attacks its meal several times before killing it. Although we often think of barracudas as deadly risks to people, they really have a far lower attack rate than sharks. Although barracuda attacks seldom result in fatalities for the victims, they can happen sometimes and can cause harm, including the amputation of a human victim's leg. Additionally, certain predatory fish, like the barracuda, eat algae that carries the toxin ciguatera, which is lethal to people. A bite might induce symptoms that are similar to those of food poisoning around the world. In subtropical areas, coral reefs are home to barracudas. There are 28 species in the genus Sphaerina, which they belong to. These include the red barracuda, yellowtail barracuda, northern senet, Mexican barracuda, and Guinean barracuda. There are barracudas in the New England Aquarium.